Welcome to the Monday Money Tip Podcast, presented by Joseph Stengel and Megan Hibbard.
Oh.
Are you fired up and living a fully funded life today? Well, listen in and we will help you live your fully funded life. Hi, everybody. This is Joe. Having fun with the podcast. We've recorded a few episodes today.
Yeah.
It's kicking off June is what we're recording for, June 5th.
Yes.
And there's a very important theme that's going to happen this month. I'm going to be out on a sabbatical / time away, some family stuff, catching up on some stuff. I'm going places.
Yeah. I feel like you go real hard for the majority of the year. You travel a lot. You're gone a lot. So you spend a lot of June and July reinvesting in your family, which I think is really good.
Yeah.
So we all take a moment in June and July to okay, let's do all the things now.
There's going to be no new ideas from Joe. So let's get some stuff done.
Yeah.
I think the team does celebrate while I'm out. So tell everybody kind of the theme.
Yes. So our theme this month is road tripping.
Yeah.
Yep. So you're going to be out traveling with your family. So we decided to name each episode after one of the trips that you're taking with your family and bonding together.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about some practical financial steps you can take in the month of June and have some fun using terminology related to each trip. So come along with us as we head to our first destination, which is the beach, and we will discuss some financial beach.
We're going to the financial beaches. Isn't that awesome? I think this is a great idea. Maybe because I came up with it. I don't know. But we're starting out June by going to the beach. By the time this releases, Lord willing, my family will be at the beach. It is my wife's family. And so her brother and sister will be there. And we will be in the waves of Surfside Beach, which is it's the first beach south of Myrtle Beach. And one beach north of Murrells Inlet. And so if you've ever been there, somewhere off the I-95 corridor, and we're going to be having fun out there in the ocean waves. And so, Megan, I want to ask a question. What is your favorite activity? I know summer's your favorite. What is your favorite activity to do while at the beach?
Well, I have two. So I have no kids. I love to sit in my beach chair, my toes in the sand, and read a good book.
Now, are you the one that moves the chair up near where the water's lapping your feet and you just chase water back and forth? Or do you like to sit up higher?
I do a combo, but I usually like to have my feet in the water, especially if it's hot.
Now this is the real important question. With an umbrella or without an umbrella?
Everybody in my life tells me I should have the umbrella, but I do not like the umbrella.
Okay.
But my fair skin tells me that I should like the umbrella.
I've told everybody my relationship with the sun is burn, peel, burn, peel, burn, peel, burn, cancer.
All the dermatologists
so that's why I
go
go to the dermatologist all the time right now.
We know.
Because I'm fair haired and I had a little bit of red in my hair. You have a lot of red in your hair. Yeah. I've got freckles and all the great things. So we'll keep the dermatologist busy.
Yeah. But if I have kids with me, I like to be doing things like building the sandcastle or playing. I'm working on the water.
That's me.
I like in the water. I don't like my feet touching.
Okay. And
I don't like thinking about the fact that there are probably sharks feet from me.
Yeah. They
or
are.
Stingrays or
jellyfish.
Oh,
man of
wars.
The
worst.
Yeah, all the things that sting.
I don't want to think about that.
So do you want to know what my favorite is?
I do. Tell me your favorite.
My favorite is activities. I do not like just sitting there.
Yeah, you sound like
I do
Jordan.
not like trying to be a lobster. Yeah. I like to hunt for shark teeth. And so I got the sifter and I shake stuff out and I find shark teeth. And my favorite place ever that I've been is Pensacola Beach. And where I found in one afternoon, I found 80 shark teeth.
Wow.
And it was awesome. It also reminded me that those got there probably because they fell out of a shark's mouth. Yeah. And that meant there must be a lot of sharks.
I probably
so
would
it's
not
very
get
special.
In the water. Yeah.
Well, we're out on the beach.
Close your eyes. Imagine with us.
The sand is here. And what do you do? What should you do the first time, especially if you bring the kids? The time has come to build
a sandcastle.
Yeah. So let's see how that relates to our financial journey. A sandcastle. We got a picture of a sandcastle to show you here. Look at that. Everybody say, "Oh, have you built a better sandcastle?" We would love to see your picture of your sandcastle. That's awesome.
Yep. So you go to the beach a lot. Have you ever built a memorial sandcastle? Memorable?
Memorial.
Memorial one? Memorable.
No, but I have a memorable one. You know what? I'm kind of terrible at it. I see all these pictures of it. You're cracking yourself up. I love it. a memorial.
We just celebrated
Yeah.
Memorial Day. I guess it was still in my mind.
So, they're fun to build, but I'm really kind of terrible at them. But, I've got the thing where you pack in the wet sand and flip it over and bonk it out. And
Yeah.
it looks like kind of a sandcastle.
Yeah.
But I have this issue. I have a son who immediately loves, ever since he's like on his feet, loves to smash things. So, and now, because he has this younger sister who he loves to drive crazy, he likes to smash her sandcastle.
Oh, yeah.
So I have to build kind of a fence. We need a sandcastle to keep out for the sandcastle. But they're fun to build. But you know what? When I go to the beach, we were there last year. My sandcastle from last year won't be there.
Yeah.
In fact, when I would go out a few hours later after one rotation of the tides, that's that crazy moon up there pulling the water in and out.
Yep.
It's just gone. But what's the lesson here? You should build them anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So tell them the big lesson.
Yeah. So big lesson. Make sure you enjoy this part and every part of your financial journey.
Right. That's our correlation. We're road tripping. We're at the beach and we're learning financial lessons from there. And the lesson here is you've got to enjoy every part of your financial journey. Are you in the period where you're frustrated that you have debt? Well, enjoy the part where you're getting out of debt. You probably enjoyed it as you got in the debt, right? I was at Purdue University studying, and I enjoyed every minute of it while I signed my life away to Sallie Mae Student Loan Company.
Not Sally.
Right? But I enjoyed it. And then the time came where I had to repay Sallie Mae. And I enjoyed the feeling of accomplishment as we saw that debt reducing and dreaming about what could be because of that.
Yeah.
And so as we got rid of debt, then we got to be able to make memories of other things. And some of the things were moments, right? That we funded a moment. And that moment came and it went. And just like the sandcastle comes and goes, you've got to make those memories anyhow.
Yep.
So there's a bigger question that can be birthed out of this.
Yep.
And what's that?
Yep. So are you building something that will last or get washed away by the waves?
Yeah. So not everything should be washed away by the waves. While you're having fun at the beach, hopefully your financial journey is building something that will last. Yes, you can have these great moments. You can spend money on memorable moments, but make sure you're building something that will last too. Yeah. And, eventually when I'm sitting at the beach, I get tired of sitting there.
Yes.
30 seconds after I've sat there. But, even my bride gets tired. She's 100% you. She wants to sit there and just bake and boil. And
moms don't get to do that.
grill.
We don't get
I
to
know.
just sit.
She just loves it. She brings her book. She brings books for the books because she has got high goals to go through multiple books as a week at the beach. Yeah. And so, it's time to, sometimes I'll go on a walk by myself, sometimes with her. But you know what? We're walking along the beach, seeing all the people.
Imagine it.
Yep,
You're
just
walking
imagining
too.
it. In and out of the water. And, a lot of people and dodging the frisbee that just came. And
We're
here
both
comes
like
the
swaying
ball.
back and
Kick
forth.
the ball back. Okay. And we come along this concrete wall. And it's built along the beach. It's called
A seawall.
a seawall. And we go for a walk along the top of it because it's kind of cool to walk along the seawall. I've done this at Waikiki Beach in Honolulu. They have kind of a seawall, and you can look down. The water's deeper there because it's built out into the ocean.
Yeah.
And that seawall, let's go for a walk along it and see what analogies we can make with that for our financial journey. I'm kind of having fun with this.
It's good.
Yeah. Be nice to have some waves going every now and then.
We should have recorded the podcast at the beach.
Yeah, yes.
Why didn't we do that? Next time.
Anyhow, we can go to the Lake Hartwell Beach. It'll be amazing. Okay, so we have a picture of a seawall here. But what is the primary purpose of a seawall?
Protection.
Yeah, it's not there to look nice.
They don't.
Yeah, and they generally don't. They've got stuff growing all over them, right? And they are constantly pounded, even on the daily, with salt water, which is very corrosive, with, wave action, which is very erosive. And when you go through this, the purpose of the seawall is not to look good. It's to be there for protection. Protection against what?
Maybe a hurricane.
Hurricane.
Maybe a tsunami, depending on where you live in the world.
Everywhere you live in the world. If you have ocean, you're being protected from a tsunami, believe it or not.
I mean, in Iowa, they don't have tsunamis.
Iowa doesn't have beaches either at the beach. We're thinking about saltwater beaches. We're talking about a seawall. We're on the seawall. We're not on a wall in Iowa.
You said everywhere.
Everywhere there's an ocean. I didn't know I have to say that. That's awesome. Thanks for making me clarify. You know,
looking out for you, Iowa.
So I looked up a definition of a seawall, and it's a structure made of concrete, masonry, or sheet piles, whatever that is. Sounds
What
bad.
is a sheet pile?
It is built parallel to the shore at the transition between the beach and the mainland or dune. This is from climate-adapt.eea.europa.eu.
Thank you
I
for
don't
that.
know what that is.
Yeah.
And it is to protect, and I like that word, to protect the inland area against wave action and prevent coastal erosion.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the question. You want to ask it?
Yes. Do you have adequate protection from financial storms?
That's a good question.
It is a good question.
So as you're sitting here at the beach and you've taken this little walk and you've gotten your steps in today because you're going to just go pig out at the big seafood buffet. That's where I'm headed.
I do love seafood.
And, you know, you're going to get some steps so you can kind of earn it. You know, vacations where you kind of just go off the rails a little bit. At least I do.
Yeah.
But do you have adequate protection from financial storms? It's a good analogy to say, hey, we need seawalls in our finances. And this definition shared that all-important word, erosion. And if you're not fervently paying attention, you know, if I'm not, if you're not, life can send some storms that will erode your strong financial foundation. And hey, I just want to remind you, even just the waves of normal life, the day-to-day waves, they will erode stuff away if you don't have an adequate seawall. And, you know, I'm a person of faith. You are too. And one of the names of the Lord is Jireh, provider. And I believe 100% that he is the owner of it all, that I'm a manager for a while. And when my natural life is gone, it'll be handed off to somebody else. He is my provider. And yet that does not mean that life will not send storms our way. And I believe the same has happened for every listener of the podcast. And I've come to view those moments as tests of my seawall. You know, is my faith in something that can erode? Or is it in something that is bedrock? Ooh, is that pretty good? That seawall that we're walking on, it's built on bedrock. Like they just don't say, we need one here and plunk it on sand. Why? Because it might look good for a day or two, but over time, that sand underneath it's going to erode away. Yeah. So how do they build the seawall? They remove sand until they reach bedrock, solid rock. So there's some big lessons here.
Yep.
Share with us some big lessons.
All right. So big lesson, build a strong seawall and ensure it's built on solid rock.
Yeah. So let's ask the questions of our listeners. What are some questions?
All right. So first one, is there anything that is eroding your financial foundation?
Yeah. So is there anything that is currently eroding your financial foundation that it's kind of like this something's wrong feeling? Like, hey, you know, I've got this wall here, but something's chipping away at it. Something's causing the foundation of it to fall apart. Or what's going on? And so let's talk about some things that can erode your financial foundation if you're not careful.
Yep.
What are some things? Yeah,
so maybe skipping your detailed budget planning session for a month or two.
Yeah, I mean, why do you need to put together a budget every month? Yeah. You know, we can skip a month or two or a year or 5 because a month or two turns into a year or 5. If you get out of the habit, you will get new habits. Yeah. And those new habits will not include regular budgeting. All of a sudden, the financial foundation, that seawall's starting to erode. Okay?
All right, another one. Quit using cash envelopes.
Yeah. Oh, man, we are such good managers of our money. We'll just use the credit card for all these things that we used to be impulsive at. You know, when we go to the grocery store, when we go out to eat, I mean, we can get all the points. Be awesome. And you know what? That may be good. That may work out great. But, you know, if you're not careful and you're not paying attention, all of a sudden things will start sneaking on there. Like from what I think has kind of jumped in front of credit cards as the number one eroder of people's seawalls. And what's that?
Amazon Prime. At our house, affectionately known as Blue Santa.
Blue Santa. Come on. I've never heard
him.
that. That's a great name.
That's what we called him at Christmas, and it kind of just stuck. So now anytime we see Amazon, Logan's like, there's Blue Santa.
Blue Santa.
Like, but if you think about it, it is. I mean, it's delivering packages, makes people happy. I mean, their logo is like a little smile. Yeah.
It's a smiley face. And do you notice the smile goes from the A in Amazon to the Z?
They got A to Z.
From A to Z.
Literally.
Isn't that awesome? I think that's awesome. And Blue Santa, does anybody else have a name for for the Amazon delivery person. I think you should comment on that.
I like it.
I think it's great.
I should trademark that.
Yeah, you should. Blue Santa.
Trademark.
Okay. Now listen. Don't allow Amazon Prime to erode your budget. That could erode the financial foundation. Now, we've been enjoying our day at the beach. Has it been fun?
Yes.
Okay.
We were there.
So we got a couple other places to get to. We built a nice sandcastle. We took a stroll, earned our meal, and looked at the seawall. Now it's time
to eat.
Yes. It's lunchtime. And I've noticed every time that I pull out my lunch, because Jen likes to pack it, a bunch of my feathered friends show up. Guess what those are?
Seagulls.
Yes, seagulls. Also affectionately known and called flying rats by some people.
They are.
They are
vicious.
Okay, so
things.
the seagulls show up. So let me ask you, Megan, do you like seagulls?
No.
You don't?
And there's always that one family that's right beside you that thinks,
wants to feed them.
I'm going to feed them.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
Great
terrible
idea
because then they come and they're going to poop on everything.
Now, I tend to like them because I'm fascinated by all flying things, whether it's a bird, a plane, a frisbee, UFOs. But here's what I know. I can see the bird, and a lot of times they'll sit up there on the sea breeze and just float, and then they go, mine, 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 and then they're amazing. But how does this relate to our financial journey? Well, just like those bandit seagulls, maybe you have nuisance expenses that keep robbing you, eating your lunch, or dropping little presents on you from the sky. Splat. Has that ever happened to you?
Yes.
It's gross.
It's very gross.
So the big lesson here is what?
Yep, big lesson. Pay attention to the seagulls that have the potential to eat your
Yeah, they have the
lunch.
potential. Okay, you got to pay attention to these things because they're going to show up. The seagulls are going to show up.
They just sense
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
There's food.
Okay. So there's a good question to ask here financially. What is that?
All right. What expenses or events are constantly showing up and trying to eat your lunch?
Right. And some of these are interesting, like Netflix. When I first signed up for Netflix, it was like $7 a month.
Yeah.
Now it's like $23 a month. Same thing, more expensive. It's a seagull. The cable company giving you that starter rate that they'll give unproven customers, and they'll charge their most loyal customers the most, and they double their rates.
Yes. So
Seagull. Purchasing lunch instead of carrying it from home. It's a seagull. Now listen, watch out for the seagulls. We went to the beach. We went down to the seawall. We had some lunch, dealt with some seagulls. No trip to the beach is complete without running to the store to get that all important
souvenir.
Got to get a souvenir. So let's get some souvenirs. I got some souvenirs to show, like a hermit crab or something like that.
I have yet to come home with a hermit crab.
Yeah,
but I know a lot of people that
I'm
do.
going to give Logan some money and tell him to get a hermit crab.
Oh my God. And that's the last thing we need in our house. Another animal to feed.
So do any souvenirs stand out to you? Like you really wanted to get as a kid?
I mean, I feel like as a kid, you always want those like, I quotes, toy that are just going to like break in like 5 minutes. But as an adult, I can appreciate like a good shirt or sweatshirt or something like that. That's practical.
When I was a youth, I got to go to Galveston 4 years in a row, maybe 5 years in a row with my twin brother and spend it with a week with our brother. Mom and Dad put us on a plane. We'd fly together on Southwest Airlines when they had the brown planes. And we would go through St. Louis or New Orleans and over to Houston Hobby Airport. Our brother would pick us up. And, man, the all-important thing was to get a T-shirt. And back then they had the psychedelic glowing neon shirts, man. And it was awesome because we would show up at high school in Indiana burned up. Not very many of our friends got to go to the South for a beach.
Yeah.
Flip-flops is another one. And I like shark teeth.
If I'm international, I like a coffee cup.
Okay.
Because I can drink it in the morning and remember my trip. It's nice.
See, that's what souvenirs do. They allow us to remember moments.
Yes.
Maybe we could learn from that. Attached to that trinket are all the moments that you experienced together. And in each phase of your financial journey, it's important to have a souvenir to remember it by. So I'm going to share some souvenirs from my family's financial journey. At Purdue University, and I got student loans and credit cards, but I also got a degree and a bunch of friends and a wife.
There you go.
Get fired up.
Yeah.
And then I got a bunch of debt. Well, my souvenir from that is a 3-ring binder of all my financial transactions documenting my madness. And then as we paid off our debt, I remember my souvenir in my mind is logging in to see that my credit card balance was 26 cents. They owed me 26 cents. And Capital One has never sent it back to me. I remember leaving my engineering job and joining church staff at the church I helped start. And my job was to help people win with their money God's way. And my souvenir is really trusting the Lord and proving it with action and writing and releasing I Was Broke, Now I'm Not. That's when that happened. And then I remember paying off my house in 2013, which was a journey. And I have as a memory my house payoff spectacular blog post, all 72 of them.
Yeah.
And Megan, maybe you could share some of your souvenirs from your financial journey.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I think about it, when I think about things like, for instance, our cars, both paid off. Journey to get the money to pay them off. But every day when I drive in it, when I have our kids, when I'm toting them around, same thing with the boat. Like, we have a ton of memories in the boat, and I can't wait to make more this summer. And like, that's a souvenir that we carry around, the memories from that. But then also like our house of like, we're working towards paying that off. And so it's not necessarily like a full souvenir yet, but the memories that we have of raising our 3 kids in there, of our family, of all the times we have.
The neighbors.
Yeah, the good, the bad, like all of it, I feel like it kind of sticks with you. So, yeah.
Bringing home babies. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, the big lesson is what?
Yeah, be sure to get a souvenir.
Get a souvenir. Yeah. Do it. Get a souvenir. And then the big question we could ask our podcast listeners, they've got a couple of them. What's that?
Yep. Okay. What souvenirs do you have right now, and which ones would you like to get in the future?
So, I think those are really good questions to ponder. What souvenirs do you have right now? Like it was very good for me to kind of reflect on my financial souvenirs and the really moments or things. And then think about, what do you want to get in the future? Where do you want to get that snapshot in your mind, that memory? Because, now that we've gotten our souvenirs, it's time to make that long trip back home. I don't know about you, but I'm getting in that car early. And I'm getting back home and getting unpacked and turning and burning for the next trip. Thanks for going to the beach with us today. Now, next week, I'm going to Boy Scout camp with my son. And that means our podcast is going to go camping too. So join us next week as we continue our road tripping with our tents, backpacks, and compass, all with the goal of guiding us to our fully funded lives. Have a great week, everybody.